Hi guys, for today's video we are going to be doing swatches, a demo, and a review of the new Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss Palette. This is one of 4 palettes that she created for her Vault collection. So this is the purple themed palette, as you can probably guess from my makeup right now. We're looking a little bit crazy, but I just really went for it. So I was feeling the purple and we just did the things. I'm reviewing all 4 of the palettes. We've already reviewed the Armed and Gorgeous palette, so if you guys have not seen that, definitely check it out. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please make sure to click that red button right down below. Go ahead and subscribe before you leave, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, we are back for round 2 here of the Jaclyn Hill Palettes Vault Review Collection. Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection Palettes review. So if you missed it, I previously reviewed the Armed and Gorgeous palette. If you want to see that review, I'm going to link it right up here for you guys if you have not seen that one yet. So like I mentioned in the last video, all 4 of the Vault palettes do have basically the exact same packaging, with the exception of each of the palettes have like colorful confetti relating to the color of that palette. So this one has some light purple kind of confetti mixed in with all of the silver confetti. And then it says Bling Boss, Morphe, Jaclyn Hill. In this collection, we do have a nice mirror on the inside, which I really do appreciate the addition of the mirror. So these things retail for $15 each. It does include a mirror. To me, that definitely increases the value. Most drugstore palettes, including Morphe, do not include mirrors in them, and I think it's just to really save on the cost and keep the cost low for everybody. But for these palettes being $15 to include a mirror, I think that that's a really nice touch, and I really do appreciate it. Makes it super easy for traveling around when you're doing your makeup on the go. So this is the beautiful palette right here. As you can see, it is definitely a purple themed, purple toned palette. We have a nice mix of matte and shimmer shades in this palette. So right off the bat, I feel like we could definitely use a brighter, whiter highlight shade. I feel like this palette to me just looks like it's lacking a highlighter shade. If you were to buy this palette on its own, I feel like you would have to reach for an outside highlighter or another palette in order to get like an inner corner and brow bone highlight. If you're just planning on buying this one, I feel like it's missing a highlighter shade, you know? I kind of mentioned this in my last review as well. I think that this shade and this shade and this shade, like these 3 shades are so similar to me. When creating a palette with only 10 shades in it, I feel like you kind of have to really maximize those colors and get a lot of versatility within those colors so that you can create the maximum amount of looks just using this same palette. So to me, I feel like these 3 shades right here are very, very similar, and it's kind of like, why couldn't we do them like a little bit different? It's Jaclyn's, you know, vision for this palette. It's her thing. She created it. They're probably different enough to her in her mind. She's probably like, yeah, each of those shades are super different. Let's just swatch them for you real quick. I'll swatch all the colors here in just a second, but just these 3 as we're talking about like my initial thoughts on the palette. So these 3 shades, yes, they are a little bit different in undertone. This one is definitely a little more pink. This one's definitely a little bit more coppery or orange, and this one is a little bit more purple. But they are like still so similar, and I feel like we could have definitely benefited from an inner corner highlight shade in this palette. Maybe leave out one of those shades, or maybe make this one even a little bit more purple, or make this one even a little bit more pink. You know, I just feel like a little bit more differentiation between the colors would have really helped like bump this palette up to the next level. That's just my thoughts going into this palette. And so let's go ahead and swatch all of these colors so that you guys can see what they all look like. All right, this is Bling Boss, Hush Hush, Gem, ooh, that's gorgeous, and Pizzazz, Mystic, Sparks, ooh, Glitz and Glam, Rockstar. Then we have Ballsy and Berry Treasure. So this is all the swatches right here, just having swatched them with 1 swipe and no product on my arm. All right, so looking at the palette, I think the colors are really beautiful. There are definitely some shades in here that I do not have in my collection. I don't have at least I don't think I do. I did pull out my original Jaclyn Hill palette for those of you wondering. So this is the original purple. This is the new purple. Very, very similar. This one is a little bit brighter. This one's a little bit deeper, but very, very similar purples. So I've got my eyes all prepped here using the Tarte Shape Tape as always. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit and we're gonna get started with the demo. We are going to start off with the color Rockstar. I also mentioned this in the last review. My biggest pet peeve with these palettes so far is that they don't open all the way. I kind of broke the Armed and Gorgeous palette because I bent it all the way back. This one just, they don't let you bend them all the way back. Like, you can bend them a little bit, but you kind of break it. So I'm gonna try to not break this one. Is it just me, or do you guys not like when palettes don't bend all the way back too? Yeah, and we're just gonna start by kind of setting this down into the crease area. I don't know why I'm using this brush. I'm gonna switch brushes. That's a lot of pigmentation. You cannot deny it. I'm kind of thinking halo eye for this look, so that's just kind of the direction that I'm thinking we're gonna go. And then I'm gonna slowly start to blend it out. So I'm not really sure when this video will go up, probably while I'm gone this weekend. We are going to visit our friends in North Carolina for Labor Day weekend, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing them. And we've got some fun stuff planned, so I'm hoping that maybe we'll get to like vlog a little bit. Would you guys be interested in seeing that? I'm like, obviously this isn't like a vlog channel or anything, but if you guys are like interested at all in seeing what we will be doing this Labor Day weekend, like hanging out with friends. It's our first time ever going to North Carolina, so we're just gonna be doing some fun stuff. They mentioned maybe like ziplining or whitewater rafting, which I'm like actually terrified of. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys are interested in at all, because if you're not, then I won't bother posting it, but if you are, then I can make a short little 6-minute vlog video or something. So that is like so super intense looking. That looks great. Got a teeny tiny little few specks of fallout on the face, but it's not bad. Okay, I think that is looking really nice so far. Blends super easy, very pigmented, builds really nicely. We are going to switch to a little bit of a fatter brush, and then we are going to kind of buff out the edges a little bit more with the color Hush Hush. Bringing it up towards the brow a little bit more to just diffuse that color a little bit more. I'm just kind of wiggling it back and forth over the edges. So we've got that color down nice and blended, and then I kind of went back in with a little bit more Rockstar and kind of touched that up. So I think it's looking really good. It's nice and pigmented on the eyes. One thought that I am having right now as I'm doing this look is I feel like we could benefit in this palette from maybe an additional transition shade, or at least a more like middle of the way kind of shade, you know what I'm talking about? Like not a super, super light shade like this one, that one is a really nice transition shade. A matte, like medium purple or medium pink or something within that realm. I just feel like this is a super deep cranberry red. This is a super deep plummy purple. This is an almost black. Is it black? I don't know. It's either a super deep purple or black shade with purple glitter in it. And then this is an even deeper like chocolatey plum. You really have only deep dark shades and then light shimmer shades. There's not really any like middle of the road kind of matte shades that are included in this palette. I haven't completely formed my thoughts yet, but I'm like just giving you guys my thoughts as they come to me, you know? So honestly, I feel like it's deep enough, but I do want to try to use as many shades like always. I think I'm gonna go in next to the shade Mystic, and we're gonna go with a smaller brush, and I'm just gonna kind of keep this really focused into the crease and a little bit on the outer corners here. I just had a thought. So let's delete this kind of metallic-y red shade. This is a purple palette, we don't really need it. Let's delete the pink one. Let's keep the rose gold one because that's pretty, and let's keep the more purpley one. So let's delete this one and delete this one. Let's make this a bright, really pretty highlighter inner corner shade, and then let's make this one a medium of the road, not super deep, like purple shade maybe. You know, that would really make this just like a complete cohesive thought as far as this palette goes. There's only deep matte shades, one transition shade, and then there's just like shimmers that are kind of all over the place. There are definitely things that I would change regarding the layout that I think could make it better. I know Jaclyn had all these shades left over from when she created her original palette. I feel like each of the palettes so far to me are not a 100% cohesive thought in regards to if you buy just this palette, can you make enough looks out of it on its own? Obviously, it works well within her Vault collection because you can pull different colors from different palettes. But if you only wanted to buy one palette, this to me, along with the Armed and Gorgeous palette that I already reviewed for you guys, it's not as cohesive of a palette as it could be, if that makes sense. Like it's 85–90% there. Just a couple of the shades I would tweak, and I feel like it would really take the palette to a whole new level and make it so much better and allow you to create a lot more looks just using one palette. Not related to the color story because I just keep talking about that. I'm gonna stop talking about that. The pigmentation, she there. Pigmentation of the matte shades is very good. I'm gonna kind of do a halo eye, but I'm not gonna do a cut crease. I just decided. So I always like to apply shimmer shades just using my finger. So that's what we're gonna do first here. I think I'm gonna go in with the really bright purple. So I'm gonna take this one just on my finger and I'm gonna kind of do it on the outer and the inner portion of the eye. I'm gonna leave the center open and then we're gonna do one of these lighter shades. So we are going to pick up the color Gem and we're gonna put it onto the lid. What a really bright, pretty purple. First, let's put down a little bit of additional powder here. I am in love with this purple shade. So pretty. Okay, so it didn't actually fall down as much as I thought it would onto my face. There's definitely a few flecks of fallout, but it's not too bad. Just using my finger, it looks nice and bright. For the center of the lid, we are going to take the color Ballsy and we're just gonna pop that same thing using our finger right in the center of the lid. And then I'm dampening a flat brush. And defining the crease a little bit more. And I'm gonna take a little bit more of Gem. Just gonna blend those two together. Okay, I think that is looking pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and do some work now on the lower lash line. So we're gonna go back into the color Hush Hush. Then we're gonna go back into Rockstar. And then using a nice flat brush here, we're gonna go back in to the color Mystic right along the lash line. All right, so since we are limited to just using this palette for this look, we are stuck with using one of these shades as our inner corner and brow bone highlight today. So we are going to go into the color Bling Bling. It's that lighter shimmer that's more pink. Okay, let's do a little on the brow bone, even though I think it's probably too dark. It's not terrible as a highlighter shade when you're doing a look that's this dark, but what if I wanted to use this all over the lid and do like a lighter look? Then where am I left for an inner corner highlight shade? I have to use something else. In my Armed and Gorgeous review, I mentioned that I thought this really bright white shade would look a lot better in this palette here. So I know it's like kind of cheating a little bit, but I just want to like test out using this bright white shade with this palette. So I'm gonna actually take a little bit of the color VIP from the Armed and Gorgeous palette and I'm gonna pop that right. I mean, there we go. I'm gonna stick with that idea that I think the VIP shade should have been in the Bling Boss palette. I'm gonna stick with it. I think it makes more sense for that bright white to be in this palette instead. All right guys, I'm gonna finish up this eye. I'm gonna pop on some mascara and some lashes and then we will be back to finish up. You know, I almost didn't go there, but then I did. YouTube is the place to express yourself. Would I ever wear this lipstick out in public? Probably not. Honestly, I don't know what was going through my head the day that I bought this, but I figured if there were ever a time to do a purple lipstick, it's with this bomb purple eye. I think I touched on all the points that I wanted to, like kind of throughout this video and at the beginning of this video, everything that I wanted to mention. So obviously I would personally change several things about the color scheme and the layout of this palette. I still like the idea of a purple palette. I think it's really pretty and there are some gorgeous shades within this palette, but I do think that it could really benefit from a few tweaks. Definitely a highlighter shade, a mid-range shade, maybe an additional transition shade. Totally color scheme aside, I think that it performs very well. We use 6 of the 10 shades today. Colors are all very pigmented. They blend super easily. If I were to put a nude lip with this instead of a purple lip, I would definitely wear this look out. I think it's beautiful. For me, I definitely see myself using this palette with additional palettes or additional eyeshadow shades in order to really, for me, get a cohesive look from this palette. I think that the quality is definitely there. I love the inclusion of the mirror. I think the design of the palette is beautiful. I think it's a nice size for traveling. Jaclyn did a nice job with the formula. Don't think you guys need to rush out and buy it immediately. You could dupe a lot of these shades out. If you want to use a coupon on this, Morphe has affiliate codes. It gives you like 10% off of your purchase if you order through them. You can use the $3.50 off coupon that Ulta runs pretty much all the time. You can use that $3.50 off coupon if you just want to pick up one of these palettes. You can apply that coupon towards this palette and it will be $11.50. That is just about everything. I hope this review was helpful for you guys. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up so that I know and I can do more videos like this in the future. I'm still planning on reviewing the other 2 palettes left in the Vault collection. So if you guys have any requests for those 2 looks that I'm gonna do, I haven't filmed them yet, so let me know in the comments. I think that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome week and I will see you in my next video.